Oh, oh, well, that sucks. So it basically missed the whole exposition. My bad. um, okay, but yeah. So let me just adjust the um, Solana entry because yeah, I don't want people to basically enter a little early, considering that we got that 4R bullish div, right? So I'm thinking possibly here at 170 instead, really above the dynamic reactor, above the bearish order block, because it could push all the way up here and then get rejected at the resistance and dynamic reactor. So that's 170. So it's about 170.95. Let's say 171. Stop loss, let's say 179. 79. Final take profit is going to be at 137.44. 7.44. Let's pull out the fib to get the first entry. So, where's the fib? Oopsie. That's no. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let's do this right from here at the swing low. Entry here. Your 618's at 160. So first entry probably at 153 or 154. Let's do first 154, right? Okay, that should be good. And I will now tell everyone updated Sol short 4H looks like it'll push a little higher. So entry on 30-minute sell zone and premium. Okay, and then at crypto signal. Okay, boop 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 boop. Crypto signal. Nice. All right, so updated Sol short. Everyone should be okay. Let's see who else chatted. Wolf was bad. I don't find my entry. Oh no, really? Oh, okay, wait. Let's look at. Really? That's not. Really? Wait, where did my. Is it? No, it's not a test 3. I think it's here on Chart Prime. Chart Prime Live, I think. Okay, so we are getting. Yeah, we're getting projections to the Trump on the 5 minutes here. But we'll see how it does. I do have an alert when it reaches the FVG. WLFI USDT.P. Where did I... Where is it here? WL... Where did I chart the projection? Huh. WLFI. Where did it go? Weird. Okay. I swear it was here. Huh. Or did I not use the right ticker? Did I use Mexi for the ticker? Weird. Okay, hold on. I'm confused now. Or is it this one? AVAX. There we go. Yeah. I said you could have entered like 1.58 and then you shorted. Yeah. But anyways, okay. So while this is happening, let me just all right. While that's happening, let me just stop sharing screen, and I kind of want to share with you guys something. So essentially my test tomorrow, my sort of finals, is essentially on banking and finance, right? And one of the questions was basically about liquidity traps, and irrational exuberance. So I let I know these are like economic terms, and maybe some of us probably have never heard of it. So it's fine. I'm going to explain this as layman as it can get. And yes, I am using Perplexity. It's an AI specifically for research. Essentially, what happens is during liquidity traps, banks don't want to lend money. They don't want to do anything because they're afraid that if they lend money, they won't get it back. So they basically hoard the goods, right? And right now in the U.S. economy, you guys got inflation. Uh, I'm sure groceries suck. Like going out for food probably sucks, and everything's expensive. The average, it's even more expensive than it was like a couple years ago, right? And essentially, what happens is, um, the money supply is basically constricted, right? So what got adjusted was the excess reserves of banks. So it's this value right here. Normally it's 0. At least here, normally it's 0. It's 8%, 0.08, and then it bumped up to 20%. And what ends up happening is you get a lower money supply. And that's basically what I've been saying, right? Right now, the money supply and in the whole world is sort of constricted. And it's very difficult to borrow money. Uh, it's expensive. And we don't have that liquidity to basically inject into the market. And so I asked Perplexity what's the difference between expansionary monetary policy and quantitative easing, which is probably something we've all heard of from different YouTubers or maybe some other people. And I see that more people are joining, so welcome. Hey Gur, welcome back. Hey Aya Perry, hey Terry H, Mike FCG, TR, welcome to the show. And hi upon a rock, can't miss that. Yeah, thank you for dropping by. And I mean, this is supposed to be a live session, but I just wanted to get this in the way because I thought that it is very interesting and sort of informs how I'm trading, right? So essentially, expansionary monetary policy involves rate cuts, it involves buying and selling stocks, right? It's open market operations, so buying government securities, and it encourages borrowing. But then what happens when you do cut rates and nothing happens? Because right in the US, we did get the rate cut. But then jobs didn't really increase, or like openings in jobs. And the whole reason is because companies are now just bolstering their current workforce with AI. And that's what Powell's worried about. Because the Federal Reserve essentially aims to get inflation to 2% and then make sure that economic output is at this level so that it's continuous and it's healthy. But your inflation is higher than 2%, it's at 3%, right? And your output's not growing. It's essentially stagnant because jobs aren't opening. So what they could look at is quantitative easing, where it's basically a stimulus. But this is sort of a last resort thing because this can easily increase inflation to exponential proportions, and it makes things even harder than it already is. So I then asked, so is the US economy in a liquidity trap? And as we mentioned, in a liquidity trap, people don't want to spend. They're hoarding their money, and essentially they're not willing to invest in, let's say, the crypto market. And market cap is such an important thing because it influences price, it influences our ability as retail to make gains on our holdings or on longs. And right now, interest rates are not at 0. It's at 3.75 to 4. So again, it does provide room for cuts, but like I said, even if Powell knows that even if he cuts rates, it doesn't guarantee an increase in jobs, and that's what he's looking for, right? And liquidity injections are working. So the Fed injected 125 billion, largest move in 5 years to support short-term funding markets and prevent stress. However, banks got low reserves. They've fallen to 2.8, the lowest in 4 years. Credit constraints, despite rate cuts, lending growth has not accelerated. Labor market weakness, it's something I mentioned again, and policy rate cuts with minimal economic response. Because when we do expansionary monetary policy, we want the economy to basically get better, but it's not. And so right now, the conclusion, based on let's look at the sources. We've got ING, we got Reuters, we got Economic Times, and whatnot. The conclusion is that the Fed is basically trying to prevent the trap from happening. They want to make quantitative easing their last resort because of inflation, but without any sort of input or evidence that it'll get better, it's really not going to look good for us, at least for the next 2 months or 3 months. So, and that's why right now I'm kind of bearish, right? All my signals have been shorts. Maybe a couple longs here and there, but mostly shorts because of this fact. And I'm not buying into that we're just going to pump the Valhalla, because that's not how it works. And when you pump the Valhalla, you have to accept the consequence that then everything is fragile, and when it corrects, suddenly the economy's shit again. So it's sort of my 2 cents, and again, this is my test for tomorrow, so I have to know what I'm talking about. Hey Langestrom. Oh, hi Perry. Hey Gur. The ceiling and my test tomorrow. I'm actually kind of scared. Out of the 21 questions, I've only prepared for 12. So after this, I'm going to pull an all-nighter, study for all of it, and ace the exam. But before we do that, we got to go back to war, which is trading, and we got to look at the charts again. So, right. Okay, hold on, just messaging my sister real quick. Okay. All right. Can you explain please the update entries of the Sol short? Okay. So the reason I updated the entry on the Sol short was based on the 4-hour. So as we can see, we got a hidden bullish divergence. So another thing that I mentioned in sort of how I trade is that feel free to customize your indicators, right? The great thing about Chart Prime is that it's not sort of set. You can customize the color, you can customize everything down to the color of your divergences, what you want. I don't have True 7. I know Alex and OC uses True 7. Personally, I don't find that it works with my strategy. Doesn't mean it sucks, right? In fact, looking at the documentation, I think that it's such a beautiful leading indicator. It's just that it messes with my personal strategy, so I don't use it. So, in any case, hidden bullish divergence here on Sol, right? And so look at this fake out. I mean, perfect ascending channel respecting the lines, right, on the 4-hour, falls down, fakes us out, goes back up, bounces off previous day low. So what I'm thinking is it'll go back to the ascending channel, test the previous day high. By that time, the dynamic reactor will be here, right? We got our bearish order block. Granted, it's not that great. I mean, it's imbalanced to bullish, but it's not that much volume. So with that, push back to the upside, and we head down. Excuse me. And also, it's the 30-minute sell zone. So that's why I pushed us all the way back up there. What do you think about the theory gold will destroy the Fed? I'm not too knowledgeable in that theory, so I can't really say anything too much on it. But, I mean, the reason why we don't use the gold standard is because when we use the gold standard in history, we realized very quickly that you can't win wars. Because if you don't have liquidity, if your money's based, or if your currency is based on gold, you just can't print money, right? And typically when you're funding these things, you want to print money so that you can pay for your soldiers, you can pay for the equipment and whatnot. So going back to the gold standard is kind of dumb, because the whole point of currency and what's great about cryptocurrency is that it has to be liquid, it has to be easily divisible, and it has to be easily transmissible, right? Cryptocurrency is perfect because even just one coin, you can divide that into 0.000000001, and it will still have value. Whereas you can't do that with a paper dollar. So, oh shoot, I don't have my wallet. Anyways, this coin, right? So this is a 10 Philippine peso coin. From this 10 peso coin, I can't just make 10 1 peso coins. That's not possible. But with one Bitcoin, I can easily make 10 0.1 Bitcoins. And that's what makes cryptocurrency such sort of a revolutionary thing and sort of an even better form of currency. And that's why when people say I don't see the value in cryptocurrency, this is the value of cryptocurrency. It's essentially what fiat aims to do, but it does it better. It's like that yearbook thing. You got Jeff, and then you got Cool Jeff, right? And cryptocurrency's Cool Jeff, and fiat's Jeff. So that sort of could it get to the equilibrium zone at 4H or to bearish order block? Yeah, it could. Absolutely, it could get there. I'm not discounting that possibility, but the reason I'm sort of wanting to enter early, right, is because I've got confluence here on the 30-minute sell zone, and the premium, and we rejected heavily off it. And if we look, right, sort of here, it's sort of that big imbalance. And so for me, once it fills that big imbalance, it'll head back down. At least that's what I'm seeing. And so I kind of want to enter there. You could, of course, put an entry there, so you can adjust your strategy as needed, right? Or your entry, since my signals are always subject to your strategy and to how you analyze. So of course you can place it there. If I lose, I accept that, and of course I always put a disclaimer to always use a stop loss, right? You could place it here. It's definitely higher probability. It's just, or higher probability of success, but it's not a higher probability of the order being filled. So I'm trying to balance that. At this order block, I mentioned there's a VWAP and the 200 MA. Okay. VWAP and 200 MA. So I do have a rolling VWAP thing. So my rolling VWAP here on the 4 hour is at this order block. So I don't use the regular VWAP because at certain sessions it just suddenly jumps. So I prefer the rolling one, so it's a little bit closer to price action. You can see it's really a better average than just regular VWAP. But I don't use it as often anymore because I find that the dynamic and quantum reactors are more efficient for my strategy. But we can... Do I have it? I guess not. I don't have it. I can add an SMA, so I can just have a look at where your 200 MA is. Moving average ribbon. Let's go here. Turn these off. Let's turn this. Let's turn it bright pink. Why not? And then let's make it super thick. And then put the 200. Right. Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, it's right here. It's right by that order block. So, of course, but notice that we're sort of down here. So by the time we get here, which could be in a couple of 4 hour candles, right? It's possible that the 200 MA is already here or at equilibrium. 200 SMA time frame daily. Okay. Okay, let me pull up the 1 day then. And let me put the MA ribbon again. Again, let's. Oh God, too many indicators. Although most of them are just, I got lazy to change them or to delete them, so they're just hanging out. Excuse me. Oh no! Oh, I forgot to get my water this time. Sad. But okay. Excuse me. So your 200 MA on the daily time frame is at 180. Okay. Okay, so it's at 180. It's possible you could short there, right? But I think I'm gonna enter here on the quantum reactor instead. Yeah, because you can see that my quantum reactor is right here. Yeah, but yeah, I see this. I see the logic there. I see the strategy. So you could short at the 200, for sure. All right, let's go back to Trump. I don't know how my trade's doing. It's sort of quite a very long swing. I wasn't expecting it to be this long. But yeah, yep. got compression. We're down. Yeah. All right. Okay. So far, all right. Bitcoin sort of. I don't know if I want to short Bitcoin right now. Let's look at the 5 minute. Maybe scalp. Well, it's kind of ranging, right? So I kind of want something clearer. This looks like a head and shoulders, but you can see that it didn't break past the ascending or this bottom trend line. So I want a clearer break before we scalp short BTC. If we do scalp short BTC, I don't want to stay in for more than an hour or two. But we can observe BTC right now. How about ETH on the 5 minute? It's not that stellar. Although it could. I mean, so we got rejected from the median line here on the 4 hour, right? So it's possible. Yeah. Okay. All right. So. But okay. Let's look at ADA. Yeah. Okay. So right now. Oh, I should have locked that. Okay, let's lock that. Lots of bearish divs here on the 5 minutes for ADA. Damn, this would have been great. I should have called this. Credit to TechWatch though. So for context, he did ask me earlier. You guys can check the receipt in trading chat. He did ask me, "What do you think about WLFI? Where should I enter?" I said, "Oh, maybe you can do 1580 and then stop loss above premium." And right now it's panning out pretty well. Maybe we should have called that. Although, it's possible we could long this actually. Scalp long it because it looks like if we touch the dynamic reactor, we'll be oversold on the 30 minutes. 1 hour looks like the money inflow is gonna basically invalidate the push to the downside. Might be an idea. Let's zoom in. Excuse me. And I guess for now, let's hide this thing. Hide, just like that. Okay, never mind. So the projection here on the 5 minutes is that it pushes to the downside all the way to 1408, which happens to be your 1 hour dynamic reactor. So actually, I might actually call along on WLFI because, or at least a scalp long maybe, right? I mean, that's perfect. Look at that. That's like dead set equilibrium 618 as well. And by then, right, based on how much range we got left, we might be oversold. And with the 4 hour, let's double check the 4 hour. With the 4 hour sort of curving up, might be an interesting idea. Not super stoked though, because something about it seems sketchy to me. But it's definitely an idea that I'd consider. So just for now, again, an idea, not something, not an official endorsement. Just making that clear. I'll just leave this here just in case I want to revisit that at a later period. So again, thanks to TechWatch for bringing my attention to World Liberty Financial. But yeah, let's look at Bitcoin. Okay, we got confirmation here. Let's wait for this candle to close here on the 5 minutes, and then we can enter maybe here at 104,630 and short BTC. Let's just wait a little bit. Right, let's just wait a little bit. Stop loss above the last swing. Where's 2? 2 is perfectly at the bottom of equilibrium. So let's just wait for it a bit, right? we want a very nice clean candle close below the trend line. Ideally, we want to close with a change of character, or yeah, a change of character. That would be great. And then we will probably retest the channel or the most traded volume and then head down. So yeah. Hey Mike FCG, hey Ply, welcome to the show. I'm Langestrom, and if you have any questions or you just happen to pass by, thank you for coming to the show. So yeah. Actually, I should probably adjust my Solana order. I adjusted it for you guys, and I totally forgot to adjust it for myself. That's but yeah, looks like the market's doing a little bit of green, right? Ethereum's up 4%, XRP's up almost 2%, Bitcoin's up 1.5%, Aster's up 8%, ZEC is up 7.6%, and again, like I said, I feel like it's all scam pumps. Okay, let me just adjust my Solana order. So, what did I call in Solana again? Because I adjusted it here. Yeah, gotta go to my own call right here. So I want to enter at 171 with my stop loss here at 179. Take profit at okay. Okay, so yeah, that is my thing. So okay, 5 minutes. We didn't close as strong as I would like, personally, right? So we could enter the short right here, and this is like sort of an official endorsement on the short. Stop loss again above the previous swing high. So if you already placed your order, it's great. So with these scalps, I don't know if I can call them in my thing. So it's just gonna stay here with us, and we're gonna sort of just watch it like a hawk. So again, 1 to 2, 1.9. Let's take profit at 103. So it's sort of moving towards entry again. We might get a little bit of drawdown, right? So let's just see. Potentially be pushed back up because we're almost oversold. So maybe I could have put it a little higher, but yeah, you could enter here. But if you already entered, then that's great because you're in profits. So yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe it's gonna be nice, right? And again, this is sort of gonna be a shorter show today because I've got an exam, so it's gonna end at 10:30. Yeah, 10:30 EST. So for Malik, that's so -8. So that's 3:30. Yeah, 3:30 p.m. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so looks like our short's panning out pretty well. I don't know if anyone joined in. But yeah. Okay. Looks like we are getting rejected from the dynamic reactor, which isn't ideal. You kind of don't want that. Yeah, oh, okay. Look at that volatility. Just for fun, how about we go to the 1 minute? Like, it's just for fun. So 1 minute looks like it got rejected. And it's sort of weak, but you do have some heavy money alpha. Because it's the discount on the 1 minute. Interesting. Okay. But I didn't even know our entry is sort of macro relative to the 1 minute resistance here, and we're above the quantum reactor for our stop loss on the 1 minute. So that's good to know. And again, you guys saw me do this live, and somehow we're getting these confluences for multiple time frames. Should I have checked them beforehand? Yep. But it also sort of a testament to your trading if the moment you check other time frames, you see those sort of confirmations there. So not looking that good, honestly. We are getting a push, but it's sort of hesitant to move even further, right? It keeps trying to go down. So you have some selling pressure going on. Again, very small short, right? We don't want to put too much of our margin here. And we're sort of basing this off the fact that we entered on the most traded price of the last candle on the 5-minute. Right. So if the 5-minute closes like this, that would suck. That would absolutely suck, because it's not bullish, but that is a bullish sort of close. Right? But we do have 1 minute, so we're now in drawdown on the short. Yep. Let's see what it does. All right. Actually, you know what? It's probably more exciting if we go to the 1 minute. So, wow. I thought that resistance was our friend and switched to support. Where is its loyalty? Like, unbelievable. That is rude. It was very rude. Popcat crossing 0.1924. All right, let's go back to Popcat. Oh dear. Okay, let's go back to Popcat. Oh, what? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I did say that we could push up higher in Popcat, and it looks like it is pushing up higher. Excuse me. But as the fluid zero line goes closer to the MVP ribbon, it's easier to fall off. So we're sort of just waiting right now. And let's go back to Bitcoin. So yeah, the 5-minute closed. Yeah, the 5-minute closed, and I think that's sort of a bullish-ish close. So not great, ideally. But if we get rejected again, like this is an indecision candle based on candle structures. If we get rejected again, then we could probably continue heading down. Okay. I've only lost once live so far. So please don't make this my second one. I've got a reputation to uphold. Okay. Oh god, above the 618. That's not a good sign. Okay. Can we get the dynamic reactor? Okay, got the FVG. Oof. Sure. Okay. Nope. Oh. Testing the dynamic reactor now. Is it gonna get above it? No, dynamic reactor. It got past the dynamic reactor. Oh man. Okay. Not fun. Oh. Yep. Scalping is fun. It's fun to watch scalping, or at least it's like the first scalping in ages that I've called. And again, traditionally I am a swing trader. Swing trading is sort of my forte, but I don't know if that means Chart Prime has a lot of faith in me to scalp for you guys, but yeah. I don't know if that's a mismatch of skill set or a lot of faith in me. I'd like to think it's the latter. Oh. Maybe Chart Prime's faith is not misplaced. Maybe it's not misplaced. All right. So yesterday, for who was in yesterday? I think TechWatch, Blackcoin, a couple of other guys, and right, I was trading Trump, and it closed the way it closed. How I wanted it to close was when I did a Trump impression. So I'm gonna do it again for you guys, right? And the challenge is that I do it in yesterday I did it in Mandarin, so maybe I can do it in Filipino this time, or Tagalog. Um, how, wait. I had to think as well when I was translating how I'm gonna greet myself. Magandang gabi sa iyong lahat. Ako si Donald J. Trump. She doesn't talk like that. Donald J. Trump. So, parang like, Bitcoin is falling right now. Bababa ng bababa siya. And as you all know, Bitcoin is for the reserve. Kung gusto nyo ng sobrang magandang coin, kunin nyo, bili kayo ng Trump coin. Best coin ever. Astig. Amazing. Oh, sorry. Do you normally enter trades in the first 15 minutes before ORB? Actually, sometimes I don't think about it. I sort of just see the opportunity and I go for it. But it looks like our short is coming true. And, well, this has happened multiple times on the stream, right? And looks like we hit full TP on our short. So, thank you for not embarrassing me today, Bitcoin. I appreciate you so much. We're here to make money. So, thank you so much for not embarrassing me. That was a 1 to 1.85 trade. Technically, if you got up until here, that would be a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and we are free falling. And like I told you guys, fake pump, fake pump, fake pump. TP, the TP was 103, 103.8. Our entry was 104.6. Stop loss at 105, and yeah, told you guys, fake pump. Told you, absolute fake pump. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna drop any further right now. You can see like this line. I don't even know why I placed that there, but like 103 seems to be a great area of interest because look, we got here, we rejected, we got above it, and then we retested, we fell, we got above it, and now we're retesting. Possible we just bounce off of it, right? Yeah, but yeah, full TP on the short again. Did it live in front of you guys, so. Maybe there's a future for me as a scalper, but I do prefer swings. Let's look at my baby Trump. How's it doing? Looks like it's fallen. So, how much am I up on Trump? Let me check real quick. I am up 395% on my Trump trade. So, things are good. Things are okay. We're doing pretty good. So, again, what I always look for, right, is understanding where liquidity is, because market makers, banks, they don't give a damn about moving averages. But what's great about moving averages is we see sort of natural algorithmic patterns, because exchanges, right, they aim to give fair value. So it's based on algorithm. And what's great about Chart Prime is it takes the liquidity, the volume, everything that's not just price action into account. Because price action trading is great, right? It's sort of the fundamentals of a trader. But price action can only do so much when banks only care about liquidity, when hedge funds only care about liquidity, because they're not trying to make small profits daily. They're trying to make long, stable profits for their clients. So they don't really care about our moving averages or whatnot. So having a tool like the CPO Plus and MVP is so great, because we're able to determine based on like liquidity, money flow, volume, stuff that banks sort of leave tails for, and that's how we're able to trade these. Okay, what did Daga DT said? On Trump, the discount zone would be a great TP. Yeah, discount zone here on the 5 minutes is great, because technically we already reached our first TP on Trump. Our first TP was at $8, and we reached that early. I was going to say early this morning, but for most of you guys in the Western Hemisphere, we reached that last night. So, yeah. And sort of my full take profit is on the FVG on the 1 day. And I mean, I was drawing this thing and I was giving updates as well. So you can go through my channel, check all the receipts, very transparent with everything. And of course I monitor everything, because if you guys trust in my setup, I gotta take care of you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So looks like Trump's gonna continue to the downside, right? And this whole area is just an order block on the 1 hour. So again, this is a 1 day FVG 6.6, which also happens to be the discount and buy zone on the 1 hour. So pretty cool. Yeah. Let's look at Bitcoin. How's it doing? Yep. Told you. Shorts right there. Okay, so with that said, we still got 30 minutes on the show. I'm not entirely sure. Do you guys have any coins you want me to look at? Maybe something you're interested in, something long term. Don't be shy. I'm really not gonna buy it. And I literally did a Trump impression in Filipino for you guys. So yeah, I'm here to entertain. Yeah. Okay. Whew. All right. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. Yeah, it's like what, 10:54 in the evening over here, and here I am with a double shot cold brew, and then I have a no, actually not double shot. It's like I think it already has a double shot, so it's a triple shot cold brew, and then I have another cold brew that's also triple shot because I'm not sleeping. Yeah. Although I'm sort of gonna lock in for my test, but if you guys have any questions, of course I'm available till 2 a.m. my time, so GMT plus 8. So that should be 2 6. So that should be like 6 p.m. for Malik, and then 1 p.m. for our friends in the US who have daylight savings. Yeah. Can you recap entry criteria for the BT short? Nice job, by the way. Thank you. So, yeah, absolutely. I can recap it. So, probably best to replay what happened. And again, we charted on the 5 minutes, right? So let's go back to the 5 minutes. At the start of the show, and unfortunately, I don't know if the recording got it because I recorded late, so that's my bad. Essentially, we were watching this ascending channel, and we know, and I told you guys that bulls will sort of sorry, I'm gonna use a Gen Z term because I am from Gen Z. They're gonna delulu themselves into believing this is a bull flag, right? Sorry. For they're gonna delulu themselves, so it's delusional. Okay, for context, when I was born, my dad was like 70, so I listened to Air Supply growing up and the Bee Gees. So a lot of my friends or my peers would say I'm more of an old soul, and again, I don't know. I share a little bit about myself at the start. I think 80% of my wardrobe is just white polo shirts, because it's a little. Of course, it's humid here in the Philippines, so button ups and like long sleeves are probably not ideal. So when I like showing up in just a white polo shirt just to be a little bit more formal, and in case I have to go to a meeting, I don't look like I came out of the beach, right? So yeah. Anyways, so the term is delulu. So typically, right, people will say, "Oh, this is a bull flag," right? Look at that bull flag. But no, genuinely, it is an ascending channel that is more likely to drop. So we were just waiting for confirmation. And right, I was doing a little storytelling on sort of my test tomorrow and how it relates, the liquidity trap in the US, and whatnot. So we were just letting this run, and I noticed right here at this exact moment we fell out of the ascending channel, and we didn't enter right away. I said, okay, we see that the most traded price is at 104. So I've changed my candles to basically have a tiny white dash or line that tells me the most traded price for the candle. And I said, let's enter right here if we get sort of a change of character, right? And our next candle sort of shot to the downside, and I was like, okay, put your entry right here because it shot to the downside. Of course, now there's a little bit of drawdown, so entry. And of course, our stop loss is based on so for our stop loss, we based it off the 1 minute because I was like, let's go to the 1 minute. But oh no, actually no, it's based here, so it's above this swing right here, or this wick, because if it reaches there, then it changes market structure, right? And then just like that, on the 5 minutes, we got oh. But again, we were watching it on the 1 minute because it was exciting, and I was just basically saying something along the lines of, oh, you know, maybe I could fail. It's possible. And then we got back to the trend line that we drew. So if we zoom out, this is the ascending channel we drew, right? We got back to the trend line. We sort of got above it. Dynamic reactor rejected off of this and the trend line, and then the market just kind of went in our favor. So what I'm looking for is confirmation. What I'm looking for is high probability entry, a high enough stop loss so that we can maximize our risk to reward. And then I based my TP off wanting to maybe get like anywhere between 1 to 1.5 and 1 to 2, because for me, when you're scalping, you could do a higher risk to reward, like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, but it's really difficult because essentially from here, right, this was a very good stop loss on my end because we saw that somehow on the 1 minute, that was where the quantum reactor was. But if we wanted to get like a 1 to 3, we would have to, okay, maybe shorten this up. Yeah, there we go. If we wanted to get a 1 to 3, right, we would have to have gotten here, and you can already see that it didn't reach it. We wicked, and this line was acting as support and resistance. 1 to 4 would place us at the buy zone, but there's no guarantee we're going to get there. So I personally aim for 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2 for scalping. For swinging, I aim for 1 to 2 to 1 to 3. I like the risk to reward, because if we're gonna wait, we might as well make more for our money, right, for our risk. So we can see that it just continued to play out, and from that point it sort of just started pumping. Of course it revisited it, so that's nice. But actually, let's stop the replay, let's leave and see what's up. And now it's just hanging out. It's hanging out at our take profit. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's there. So yeah, no problem. Yeah, so we still got 30 minutes on the show. So again, if you guys have any questions, anything you want me to answer, even if it's maybe a coin you're interested in, just let me know. I like talking to you guys. Yeah, proof that I just came from school. I got my ID and whatnot. Crazy. Oh man. Okay. But yeah, looks like we've got one successful scalp, so we're finally living up to the live scalping session, because last session I just called swings. I bet when OC reviews the video, he's just gonna laugh. He'll be like, "What is Langestrom doing?" Oh man. Okay, but yeah, how are you guys? I believe it's, what is it? Today's Wednesday morning for you guys. I don't know. I find Wednesdays to be the slowest day of the week. I don't know what it is about Wednesdays. It's like you're so close to the weekend, but you're also so far. I don't know. Maybe Mondays are the longest, but for me, Wednesdays are the longest. But yeah. Oh, so it looks like we are falling further. Let's look at my baby Trump. Okay, I shouldn't say my baby Trump. I mean like the coin. Oh god. And it's being recorded. Yay. I bet if there's anyone willing to do compilations of maybe the bloopers in live streams during classes, I'm sure it's just gonna be the most cursed and cringe-worthy things that Alex, OC, and I have said. But yeah, so actually, maybe we can take the time to sort of explain some of my my calls, right? Uh, I don't know. Do you guys trade narratives? So, for example, last year, exactly almost last year, right? Real world assets was like the it narrative along with AI. So, do you guys trade narratives, or do you just trade the highest volume coin, or whatever's trending? Because I'd like to know. Because typically my strategy is just trade the top 50, sometimes top 20. I kind of don't like straying too far away from the top 20 coins. Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyways, let me set up Ondo real quick. Actually, I should probably go here because that's where I charted the long. Yeah, right here. And let everything load, and then let's go to the 1 week. So when I do signals, guys, I do have like another template just to clean things up so it's easier to understand. But when I analyze them myself, I do have other templates that I have prepared. So the thing about Ondo, right? It's a real world asset backed by BlackRock, and BlackRock, I'm sure they've got real world assets. I mean, they're BlackRock, and what I found very interesting with Ondo is that it was sort of this coin that just blew expectations, in the sense that you got this dip, right, and then suddenly you pushed all the way to $2 for a real world asset and a coin that wasn't sort of a meme, right? You got a 2x in what is essentially a third of a year, right? It's not a meme. It's a coin with utility, and you got it to 2x in a third of a year. And again, when it reached all-time highs, everyone was like, "Oh my god, Ondo's great." Right? And now it's sort of underperforming. And it's sort of like Sui in the sense that it's got this really crazy way. It really took a beating. I was like low level long on Ondo at around 0.5. I got in at 0.5 here at around, yeah, September 2. So I was holding that for a year, and I took some profits, of course, along the way, stop loss to break even, and then this wick took me out. So uh terrible time. But I'm sort of hoping to recapture that with my entry. And of course, the 1 week is showing a little bit more push to the downside. But as you know, Bitcoin's probably also going to drop again. So when I charted this, right, given that Ondo's sort of higher up in the top, or is it lower in the top? Because if it's higher, then it's like higher up the leaderboard. So it's lower down the leaderboard of market cap. I see it dropping another 40%. And the thing is, when people who are holding spot bags, of course they have every right to panic, because I mean, if they bought here at euphoric times, or excessive exuberance, as or excessive exuberance or irrational exuberance as the proper terminology for banking and finance, right? If you bought here, then of course you'd be devastated, because it's basically down a whole 70%, right? But banks see this as an opportunity, right? So we have to shift our mindset into the idea that this right here is an opportunity. Buying at essentially bear market prices is an opportunity. So when Ondo drops further, this is an opportunity. We are going to take that opportunity, right? Bear markets, times to accumulate, get spot bags, low level longs, right? And you just wait it out. So obviously check your exchanges, if they have, or how much their fees are. Do some math, and yeah, you can have AI do the math if you're not keen on pulling up a calculator. So the beauty of AI, and yeah, we got AI coins, so it's great. Um, but yeah, let's go back here. Okay, so Trump is trying to, yeah. See, this line's really been uh, really been a snake in my boot, because I saw here on the 4 hour, right? It's sort of the most traded price on the candle where I got a wick, and then so I placed it there, and look at what happened. Just everything sort of went up, and then we got here. It couldn't close below it. So until I break this, I might have to call the Trump trade until I see that we've broken past this. But if we can't, and we're already way low here on the 4 hour, you know, maybe it's time to walk away. And we're walking away, right? Since I called 20x lev on that, we're walking away with what, 300 something percent profit. And that's a good day. That's a 3% increase in your total portfolio if you did the 1%, like I said. So yeah. So still got 20 minutes here on the show. And looks like things are still panning out for us, right? Yeah, our money flow POC just went here, so point of resistance on the 30-minute. Let's look at BTC, and yep, we could. Oh, sorry. I think I should stop that timer from now on. But yeah. And yeah, look, our take profit was just right. I mean, we could have put it lower, but just right, because now we're headed back up. We're probably going to play on this 4-hour peak bottom hidden bullish div, head back up on a couple coins. Yeah, same thing with the thing. So maybe I should have called it long. But then again, another sort of rule that I do is if I go short, I want a little bit more time before I take a long. Or if I go short, I should have projected a long somewhere, right? I don't want to take a long as soon as I take a short because I feel like it's bottomed out. Yeah, that's sort of a fallacy. I don't know what it's called. But you don't want to just I mean, some people do that, right? And some people are successful, but sort of flipping your position, it's very prone to basically revenge trading as well, and that's how exchanges get you. So if you see like a reverse position on your exchange, I don't recommend. Excuse me. This time it's not watermelons. This time it's the coffee. So I don't recommend doing a reverse position. Yeah. But hey, oh, Hugh Hector, welcome. Welcome to the show. Yeah. So the show's gonna be a little bit short, because again, I do have to cram. But I'll be open for chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to tag me on Trading Chat. I'll be right there as soon as I can. And I'll help answer your questions. If you also want maybe to see, yeah, hey, good evening. Thank you. Is it evening for you too, or is it morning? Good morning then. Good morning. Yeah. But in any case, right, we got one successful short here on the live, so nice live scalp right here. So yeah, market's kind of sketchy now, right, because we are oversold on the lower time frames. 4 hours showing hidden bullish div on a lot of coins, so we see it on Bitcoin, We see it on Ethereum. We see, I think we also, did we see it on Solana? Come back to the 4 hour. Yep, we see it on Solana. So all of these coins are showing some hidden bullish div. So since we got a couple of the longs liquidated, let's look back at our FA, see if anything's changed ever since we took a look at it at the beginning of the show. So no, not much has changed, right? Yeah, we are getting this cluster, but we have this huge cluster right here at 102. Let's look at the 7-day. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, not much of a change. I was expecting that tiny scalp dump would have taken out a lot more people, but I guess not. Hyperliquid, of course, your DEX showing 111 as a point of interest, 99 here, as well as 90, 91, but a ton here at 111. Okay, let's look at the heat map again. Let's refresh. So RSI did drop. Okay, that coincides with what we saw. Popcat still remains overbought. So genuinely, you guys can probably look at Popcat. But typically, when these outliers are still in their move, I don't recommend countering them. You kind of want a little bit more confirmation. So what that might look like, let's pull up the chart. No, not that one. Let's pull up the chart again. Chart. Okay. What that might look like. Actually, wait. Actually, this might be it. But I would wait for the 5 minutes, right? Because the 1 hour does look good, right? Potentially you could enter up here. But that's really high up. I don't know if it will revisit. But you can see we're sort of struggling because this is, as much as this is bearish in nature, it's also an indecision candle because we got buying pressure, we got selling pressure, we got selling pressure here. But if we can't get past the POC, then we might see a bit more upside. You can see what we still got money flow. Our momentum's still strong to the upside, right? And 5 minutes almost oversold. We did break past the fluid zero line, and like I said earlier, the higher your fluid zero line, the more likely you are to break past it and become bearish. But also notice that we got bottoming bars, and we're sort of just playing around now. And so I would wait. I'd set an alert here at 0.1878. See if Popcat revisits that. I'd also set an alert here at premium. Unlikely, but always nice to set. And then I'd set an alert here, which is the most traded price on the 1 hour, 1.798, just to sort of see. Because when it gets here, it basically means maybe we're a little late to the move, so no trade, right? Kind of sucky on the conviction. If it gets here, then we can explore a potential short, because that means that we've revisited a price where a lot of sellers stepped in and pushed the price down. If it gets here, then it probably still has more upside, if I'm being honest. If it comes back to and fill this way, we probably have more upside. So yeah, and I mean, look at this order block, right? It's an imbalance to the bullish. Obviously, when you get these imbalances, it's not a guarantee that just because you get up here, you range and you go up, right? There's still a chance it gets deflected down. But what I really like about sort of the chart prime order blocks is that it gives you sort of an immediate tell whether or not it could break, right? Because if it ranges and heads up, that means it might be a good idea to take a long. If it gets rejected, that means it just revisited the area, got people to maybe long again, because essentially what order blocks are in this context, they're pain zones. So people were putting in longs at the peak. So that's retail. That's dumb money. Or what's a nicer way to say dumb money? Unintelligent, uninspired, man-child? No, it's probably not man-child. Sorry, my girl's into Sabrina Carpenter. It's funny because her name's Sabrina. So, yeah. Anyways, ETH is a piece of work. Yeah, it is a piece of work. But essentially, right, these order blocks are acting as our pain zones. And their dumb money was longing at the tops, like they always do, right? But just a tiny bit of euphoria, they long at the top. It's crazy. So this could just be the fact that it got back here. They felt like they were safe, and then we head back down. So that's how I approach order blocks that have major imbalances. So if it's a bearish order block with a heavy bullish imbalance, if it goes back, rejects, that tells me it was a pain zone, take that short. If it goes up, pushes up, that means that there's going to be more upside. Whether you want to take the long or not, it's up to you. Just base it on, or just inform yourself based on how much extension we got left on the CPO plus, and then yeah, take the trade. It's up to you. So right now, not really seeing much that we can do anymore. Excuse me. Yeah, the market's kind of sketchier, right? We got the bullish div, peak bottom. Everything's telling you to maybe long this area. I don't know. I don't know if I would. Let's look at Trump. Yeah. Fall. Okay. Yeah. Gotta love Trump sometimes. At least Trump coin. I mean, we're not being political here, but do you, for our US friends, do you like Trump? You like the guy? No judgment. I just want to know sort of like the sentiment around your current president. If you guys are willing to share, of course. No, I guess not. Okay, Popcat's crossing 0.1. Let's go back to Popcat. All right, and that's what I said, right? Looks like you could have taken the short there, but look at this. That's why you don't take the short. And this was our most traded price. We basically revisited it. So we want to see, will it just sort of continue? Your CPO plus transition. And that's strong, right? That is a bullish candle structure. It's not a perfect engulfing, but technically it engulfed this bearish candle, this candle as well. Obviously, when we're trading on these low time frames, you get skips like this, so it's not always accurate. But the point is, we got a bullish engulfing candle right here. And when you enter a trade, or when you look at a trade, you sort of just have to be, or at least scalping, you got to be a little skeptical. And sort of what I trained in order to get that confirmation is just, do we have a structure in place? Do we have like an ascending channel maybe? Do we have ascending channel, descending channel? What kind of structure is it making, right? What's the CPO plus telling me? So let's go back to Bitcoin because it's a good example, right? Let's replay it. Because what was telling me was we got an ascending channel, and of course it's continuing on to rip. Oh, it's like a Bart Simpson. No, that looks like a Bart. That's fun. That's really fun. But yeah, right, what was informing me on the 5 minutes was this ascending channel with barely any support to the bottom. So high probability of a break to the bottom. And we saw right here at this point in time when we closed here that we were basically on the move to the downside. And while we did push up, right, we did end up breaking down. So again, we also saw it right here, that the CPO plus transition broke to the downside. We got a retest, we fell. And we also see that at this point in time, the MVP ribbon, granted I didn't say that, but when okay, full transparency, right? Obviously we're looking at this retroactively, but what's important is when you look at the chart, right? You look at your CPO plus, you look at your MVP ribbon from a glance. You need to have that gut reaction of, okay, this looks good, right? Everything is sort of lining up. It's high probability, right? And you need to be able to train that intensively. Again, like I told people, I had to tweak my setup for like 4 months with Chart Prime and whatnot. So actually, when I first subscribed to Chart Prime, yes, I'm a subscriber. I first subscribed to Chart Prime. I got the Pro, so I had the regular oscillator, and then I moved to the Plus because I felt that there was a lot of value from having your money flow volume matrix. Now that's not saying go upgrade the Plus today, right? That's not what I'm saying, because let's boot up the regular one, because essentially what was very important in this thing was really the direction of the ribbon, whether you had that twist, and your MVP ribbon, which is something you can get when you just get Pro, right? I can't find it. Prime, oh, there we go. Oh, and I guess for transparency, the reason I do have these, right, they're locked now. I basically did a test between Big Beluga and Chart Prime, and of course, um, I'm with Chart Prime now, so that sort of tells you which one I felt was more accurate and which one I felt was more useful. So that's my personal testimonial. Do with that what you will, but for me, Chart Prime was easier to read, more accurate, and better. I did back testing, and essentially I got like 73% win ratio, 73% win lose ratio or probability, just by listening to the 1 hour of like the Chart Prime Oscillator Pro Plus. So yeah, and actually I think I still have my findings. Then again, it's a little biased if I say it now, right? Because I would Chart Prime, but it is what it is. Hold on. Actually, let me look at my docs, because I do have it somewhere. Let me check. Okay, nope. That was my father's eulogy. Is it here? I guess not. Where is it? I checked this already, right? There's nothing here. Oh no, there. Okay, I will look for it. Oh no, it's probably here. Right? Nope. God, I have too many Google accounts. Way too many. Anyways, we can talk about that some other time. But you can see, essentially, you got the same signal, right? When we looked here, we got the transition of the ribbon, right? Very similar. The only difference is really the money flow volume and trend strength. Like those are great to have. It's not nice to have. They're great to have, but they're not needed, because for me, when you've got these two in conjunction, you've already got the core of the setup, right? Obviously, you get more for this, right? And whether or not that's diminishing returns to you is up to you. But for me, I found the value in it. Hence why I went with Plus. All right. What settings have you modified, or do you use it stock? Oh, yeah. Okay. So got 4 minutes. Let me just pull up my settings. And actually, I have a video recording pinned on my Pro Analyst channel. Basically you get to see my settings there. So if you can't wait and you decide you want to copy. But then again, I highly recommend that you sort of explore for your own, because we're all different people. We've all got different tastes, preferences, and we read the market differently. Like we can have similar sentiments, but we read it differently. For example, Runaire and I both are bearish, right, in the media term, but his signal I think is 89. Mine is like 90, 92, 91. They're close, right? But we have different sort of entries, and that doesn't mean that I think Runaire is wrong. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. We could be both wrong, or we could be both wrong, and we just flat line, right? We go to zero. Bitcoin goes to zero. I don't know, right? But the point is, different ways of looking at it, different sort of entries, different sort of ideas, but we're using the best tools. and we can tweak those tools to our preferences, and so you get to develop that. So for me, I do the main oscillator, old shape. So I also know Runaire and Nas, they like to use the stock shape, which is like the ribbon, the line. I prefer the old shape because again, I started with this, so I know for the people who just got pro, this is great. I love it. So if yeah, and I like the glow personally. So unlike OC and Alex, I don't really use the True 7. Read the documentation, it's great, right? I just feel like it clutters up the thing, and I can't get to. It sort of confuses me a little more, but it's a great indicator, right? 7 indicators leading, so it's great. And I saw how Alex demonstrated it, right? It was fantastic demonstration. But for me personally, I just didn't like I just didn't like the indicator itself. That doesn't mean it's terrible. It's just it's not a fit for me. Kind of like how a car can be objectively good, but it doesn't mean that we like the drive of the car. So, for example, what's an objectively good car? Oh, Toyota Land Cruiser, right? Yeah, yeah. So I believe he like turned off all the other settings. Yeah, Toyota Land Cruiser, objectively an amazing car, especially the 200s with the naturally aspirated V8. I don't know if you guys are car guys, but I'm a watch, fountain pen, car, and uh, uh, EDC enthusiast. So in fact, I always bring a flashlight with me to school. I also always bring a pen, and I also always bring a knife with me because I find that very useful. And I always have a watch as well, mechanical of course, because it's more. I find that it's more. Well, I like it more, and during exams you can't use digital watches, and I don't want to. Everything in my life is already digital. PC, laptop, iPhone. I can't be bothered to charge my watch as well. So yeah, I love all these things, and the Toyota Land Cruiser, objectively amazing car. No one doubts or no one says that it's a crap car, especially the 200. Love the 200. I know you guys get the 250 in the US, so maybe the 200 isn't that well known, but over here in like Asia, the UAE, 200's like the goat, and they have the 300 now. But that doesn't mean that the ride's for everyone. It's a firm ride because it's like a ladder on frame, and some people want the air suspension kind of ride, like the soft cloudy ride, and that's okay too, right? It doesn't mean that the Land Cruiser sucks or that it's a terrible car. It doesn't make it a cherry, but to each their own. Some people might prefer the ride of what's a competitor of maybe like the Nissan Patrol, right, with air suspension now, or maybe they prefer something from Germany like your Audi Q8s, your GLEs, GLS, maybe your X5, right? It's all about preference. Doesn't mean it's shit, right? It just means that you have a different taste, and that's okay, right? We get value from being able to converse and share with each other, right? Alpina B3. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. Man, straight sixes, like, I've got a GLE, so I drive a GLE now. I don't know what it is, but straight sixes, there's something about the ride of a straight six. Just the smoothness of the transmission, and yeah, amazing. Thank you, Jay Brignac. Thank you so much. Yeah, but I guess that sort of calls our live, or closes our live. Hey JC, I'm sorry that you came in kind of late, and the Tech Ninja and Nabber. Hey guys. But yeah, so I've got to close the show. Got an exam. But if you guys have any questions, maybe coins you want me to look at, or maybe you want me to give some inputs on some of your charts, just tag me on Trading Chat. I'll be awake. Well, I don't think I'm gonna sleep, so I'll be awake. Not 24/7, but I'll be awake until 2 p.m. GMT plus 8 for sure. At least that's my designated time. So for folks in the US, that's going to be 1 p.m. Obviously, I'll probably still answer past that. And for other people, just do the math there. But yeah, thank you for joining me. We got one successful scalp on the live. We adjusted some of our entries for some of the swings I called. And yeah, once again, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, guys. So yeah. Bye. 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 But yeah, thank you guys once again. I'm Langstrom, and thank you for joining me. Always use a stop loss, and see you next week.